Family Third, Brown County Commission meeting to order. Commissioner Sutton, lead us to the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning.
Morning.
First item and only item on the agenda, we have our first public hearing on our 2020 provisional budget. Lots of feedback.
The interest is overwhelming. Do you need to get in more chairs, Amy?
Can you talk a little bit about the schedule then? So we do a public hearing now, and if we want to make any changes, when is that?
The schedule on the budget is, we're going to start our public hearing process, and we'll just throw it on the agenda every week until it's time for adoption. And we are set to adopt it September 24th.
So if any changes need to be discussed and decided on prior to September 24th, so you can have them put in and changed and
Yeah,
numbers.
any changes, the board will just make a motion. So if you guys wanted to do the planning and zoning copier, you could do that today. Take out that 4,500 we talked about earlier.
I think we for sure do that because they, he's going to take care of that this year. It doesn't need to be in next year's, right?
That's right. Also, the scanners, he doesn't need it, he's got his copy in there, so we can actually remove 5,000.
5,000?
Yep.
Okay.
That's what he had budgeted for the
Oh,
total for the scanners and the copier, which will come out of this year's budget, so that'll be next year's budget, so it'll be 5,000.
Do we need a motion for that?
Yeah, any change you make to this provisional budget, we'll just make a quick motion, so it's documented before the adoption.
move it.
Second.
Moved by Kipley, second by Fikert, to amend the planning and zoning budget for 5,000 less for the 2020 budget.
And then that will be redirected to highway. I guess I made that assumption, but
Yeah. Any cuts we can find now will go to highway, right?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Anything else on the budget that anybody's come up with, or?
Well, the other area, based on the conversations we've had with how much we're using Bulkton for the jail, sounds like numbers are down, and obviously that can fluctuate at any time, but I think, do you have anywhere the numbers of where we are year to date? Because I think we had only done it like 10 or 20,000 last year, and now we've budgeted 100,000. I wonder if we could skim some off of that. The professional service line under the jail.
I don't have the year-to-date numbers with me
Okay.
right now. I'd have to get them.
What number is jail? Jail would be number
Get it, that information. for next week.
19.
In anticipation of that.
We don't have a year-to-date with this thing.
I can get it from my office too.
Because I believe it was the 100,000 under professional services line 422.
What were we gonna change that to?
I'm looking for input from the other commissioners. I know it shows that in 19 they budgeted 6,500. We'll have to find out where we're at right now, but I remember in the conversations when we were talking JDAI and the JDC, and that numbers are down this year. And like I understand those could skyrocket again next year, but I think for our purposes right now, we might be able to take a few.
But when you look through from 17, 18, and 19, what was actually used in 17 and 18,
It's really low.
well,
We won't have taken prisoners to Fulton for a little over a year, though.
Yeah, since the new jail got opened is when they
but even if we cut that in half,
Yeah, I can get a year-to-date and then maybe reach out and find out what caused that increase.
There was a couple hefty ones that I know I've signed for the Fulton Jail to approve the bills that were, one was I think almost 20 grand. And I think there was another one for 10, so it's been substantial, but I don't,
Yeah.
I'm just going by memory, so I think we probably need to know
So
what
we
it's
grab
from
that
year
real
to
quick,
date.
or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we have too much on the agenda.
One of the questions I remember Gary had sent an email out about if we want to send a formal letter out to all our department heads as far as trying to save a percentage of this year's budget, so we have some carryover, and be cautious about what they spend. Do we,
Yeah, I think that'd be wise.
You have a certain percentage in mind, or just general? Just
5%
save?
minimal, I guess, you know, or just save, I don't know, I guess. It'd be nice to put a percentage in, so
I
we got
think
something to
so,
strive
too.
for.
We only got 4 months left, so I'm fine with doing a percentage. And you're talking of the, can't really, other current expenditures, probably not gonna be able to do it in the personnel services. Are you talking overall budget 5%?
No, I think you have to go with your supplies and your miscellaneous things that you, I mean, you can't really decrease somebody's salary, so it has to be out of the other part of it, so.
I'd be
I
good with
don't
that.
know. I guess the thing would be is, do you want to go 10%, 5%? I mean, I think 10% is going to be a little hard, it's only 4 months left.
Yeah.
Like a general reminder that, you know, if you need it, we can have that conversation. If you don't, it's not advisable to just try and spend it, because
In all of those revenue sheets,
Yeah, year to date, we're at $70,711.
70 what?
$70,711.
A little bit more than last year.
And that includes, and other professional fees like their language services and, you know,
Mhm.
but those will probably stay next year too.
And they're up substantially this year too.
Yeah, they only budgeted, you know, the 6,500.
So with that, all that increases each year, so
100 may not be far off.
We better leave it, yeah.
So are you going to use a percentage for the letter, or just leave it as a general, and, you know,
Is it
and I would
advisable,
hope
like
that,
like Commissioner?
and I think
Baker?
most, maybe mention that anything that they can save this year will affect their budgets next year, because I mean, that's, you know, it's definitely affecting the highway department, so I'm thinking that everybody would kind of try to help out, and
Just basically with concern of this year's budget, you ask for, you know.
Okay. We can do that.
I don't know if it makes a difference with percentage, or whether we use 10, 5, or 7, I think we just make them aware of that, anything that they...
As much as possible.
Right.
Anything they can say.
I think they know, but a friendly reminder doesn't hurt.
That sounds good.
So before these changes, is that right, that from general funds, so is it $1,055,000 is all we're giving highway?
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
and then which revenue page do we show what their total for the year will be with the wheel tax and stuff?
Their estimated revenue, 201 road. Yeah, if you go to the last page of that fund.
5.8.
Yep.
So last year, they were at $9.3 million for a budget for roads, and this year currently we have them at $5.8 million for roads, so it's kind of roughly $4 million.
Mhm.
3.5 million.
Number was like 1.4.
From the general fund?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's in there on the bottom of the second page.
Okay.
Yep, your other financing sources, 371 transfers in, those are transfers from other county funds.
So 3.518 is the decrease over last year.
Difference, yeah.
I think, I know that our hands are tied in a lot of these budgets, but I think as the word gets out that the roads are gonna be cut by that much, there might have been a few more people here today, because that's just, gonna be devastating. First, I think Dirk mentioned first is gonna go the bridges. Any bridge projects are gonna be put off. And I know we got a couple big ones we're working on right now that we'll have to finish.
Well, I mean, if this thing carries out for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, I don't know how you replace equipment. I mean, let alone the condition of some of the roads, and he said it right out, that there would be no big projects. It's gonna be basically, you know, bare bones maintenance is what it's gonna come down to.
So really, you've lost all the gains that you've made over the last few years trying to get ahead of it. You've really put yourself in a position to fall behind again. Playing catch-up is always time-consuming and expensive.
Exactly.
Just so the weather behaves itself.
Yeah, hope we don't get no flooding.
Yeah.
Well, and the scary part is, a year from now, we're gonna be in the same boat. I mean, where are we gonna find any more money to raise that again? We're starting back at what level? When was the last time we were at 5.8 million for the roads? That's like 10, 20 years ago. And when you think about it, of that 5.8, I believe almost 2 million wages and benefits. So then you're looking at less than 5 to actually put on the roads.
Well, then I think Dirk has tried really, really hard to hold the employment number down too, to a bare minimum.
So I don't have any answers today, but I think we need to keep searching.
Well, there's really no foresight of seeing revenue going up a bunch next year.
I wouldn't, I mean, it'll go up a little with the full value of the county, but not $5 million.
So as our jail and court appointed and language and all those things keep going up by leaps and bounds, we get a pittance for a revenue generator, which
That's not me.
find an answer for that, you'd probably be a wealthy man.
Well, the counties didn't give the property tax breaks back 10 years ago or whenever it was, or 15 years ago. That was done on the state level, and we're paying the dues for it right now. Let alone the $400,000 a year for TIFs that the county doesn't get. In 2017, it was $400,000. I don't know what it is in 18 and 19, and what was it years before? You take 400,000 times 10 years, there's $4 million. And then, I don't know if it's not necessarily an unfortunate situation, but you take the, probably at least 50, 55 of the counties don't even exercise tips at all. Or there's probably 8 or 10 of them that do. And we're right in the middle of it. Brown County's very much affected by it.
So that'll go on the agenda for next week too then? More
Yep,
public
we'll
hearings?
just keep putting it on
Okay.
until we adopt it.
I think we've pretty much been through the budgets and cut everything we possibly can cut back. I mean, there might be odds and ends here and there, but I don't know that there's a lot of room to find additional dollars anywhere in any of the budgets. Unless somebody's seen something I didn't.
Nope.
Sounds a little bit like the...
There's always options, but they're not easy options.
Well-
I mean, we could lower, I think we had the placeholder 2% increase for employees. We could always lower that to 1.5%. We could lower that to 1%. I mean, that's not an easy option. There's, you know, travel, there's things next year that we could put a 1-year moratorium. There's groups that we donate, that we give money to, you know, the libraries and the nutrition places, that would be a tough decision to cut for 1 year. I think we added all those that are not non-essential, but non-mandatory for us to donate to, and it was like $42,000. So there's things we could do, it's just none of it's easy to make those decisions.
Well, the problem is, a lot of those, you add them up, and you don't have a real substantial amount of money either, a large amount, going if it even come to $500,000.
Not even close, I don't think.
The thing of it is, if you take it on next year, there's a chance it'll never come back in, because I don't see us coming into our revenue generating what our expenses keep going up, so once you've cut them, they're gone. You know, we talk about doing it for 1 year, but I think once that cut's made, it's permanent.
Usually works that way. Yeah, definitely.
And we can see what's turned back and maybe do a budget supplement if it's substantial and we're okay on cash.
That's probably not gonna be too bright either, though, because we have some departments that we gotta supplement this year with, like planning and zoning and some of those that we've done different things with, but good thought. Maybe.
Well, we'll continue to work on it each week. Anything else to add to the budget? Yes, we can go on to Kathy if you want to take care of a few of your things, if somebody else has anything.
We have general meeting minutes from August 27th.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Weiss, to approve the general meeting minutes from August 27th. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Claims and payroll.
Second.
Moved by Kipley, second by Piker, to approve claims and payroll. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
HR report.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Piker, second by Sutton, to approve the HR report. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Set hearing date and authorize advertising for the Highway 5-year plan. We missed it last week, we got distracted.
Second. Moved by Kipley, second by Piker, to set the hearing date for authorizing and advertising the Highway 5-year plan. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Acknowledge City of Hecla application for restricted use solid waste permit renewal.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Piker, second by Sutton, to acknowledge the City of Hecla application for restricted use solid waste permit. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Special event alcohol permit.
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Kipley, second by Piker, to authorize a special event alcohol permit for a wedding reception, I believe.
At the fairgrounds, yeah.
That's above us. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Fair contract.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Kipley, to approve the fair contracts. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
That lease.
Move. Second.
Moved by Weiss, second by Sutton, to approve the lease. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Claim assignment.
Second.
Moved by Kipley, second by Weiss, to authorize the claim assignment. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That's everything that we have.
Gary, do you have anything?
Really good. You just need an exec for personnel.
Before we go into exec, we brought, or had brought in this plat that we worked on last week, and we were gonna postpone making a decision until we got it figured out. And there was no one here to, you know, protest it or speak to it last week. So if it would be appropriate, I would make a motion that we approve the plat with the noted easement on it, so they can get on with their business.
Is that a street easement? Is that what it is?
It's an
Access easement, yeah.
Just allowing access to those properties that we were concerned with. So I would move approval of this plat as noted with the access easement.
Second it.
Motion by Sutton, second by Weiss to approve the Prairie Hills plat. Just continue from last Tuesday's meeting, just to do some follow-up on it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And then, Dwayne and I met with representatives for racetrack last week. We forwarded the marked up copy to the state's attorney's office. They're working on it. If anybody has any other changes, please get those to them. Maybe we get that on the agenda for next week before we go to convention. Get that taken care of.
Well, instead of racetrack, what they call it, speedway contract.
I think that's what everybody calls.
Brown County Speedway?
Raceway still yesterday.
Yeah.
Living in the past.
Anything else before we go into exec? I would entertain a motion to go to exec.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Kempley to go to exec for personnel. All in favor?
Aye.
We are out of exec, no action as a result. And also, we were in for 1 week celebration. You bet. Anything else come before the commission?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Weiss to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are